Hi everyone, it's Christina from Card Creations and More by C, and we're going to be making another video today of a really cute card. It's going to be an A2 sized card, and I've just taken some craft cardstock at 5.5 by 8.5 and scored it down the middle at 4 1/4 to make our base. And I have a 4 by 5 1/4 blue layer for the front and one for the inside. So I think we'll get started by adhering down the one to the, actually I want to do a little inking first, excuse me. What I want to do is I'm going to do a little bit of blue inking using my Stays On blue ink, and I'm using the Tim Holtz blender tool, but I'm actually using the Ink Essentials sponges that instead of the felt pads. So I'm using teal blue Stays On ink, and I just dab a little bit here. And I'm just going to ink a little bit around those edges when I put it inside. Just gives it a little bit more color at the edge. A nice teal blue. I've just kind of started experimenting with inking like this to sort of accent my cards. I'm not very much into distressing as far as making things look old. The only thing I would do is that type of distressing for a masculine card, but it's really not my style to do that. So I like this though, adding more color to colors and making stuff look more vibrant. That's what I kind of like about the inking. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Just getting a nice thick coat. Okay, so it kind of changes the edge of that paper, and I really like how that looks. Get a little bit more right there. Okay, so that's going to be our inside layer. I'm going to go ahead and do it to the outer layer too, which is going to be, of course, at the front of the card. Just go around all 4 sides. And this tool makes it so nice. The sponge just goes perfectly. And it comes, I think you get 10 sponges in the package for like $4.95, and if you didn't have anything else to use your coupon on, you could use it on that and save even more money, which is nice too. Okay, done. Now I just want to kind of blot this off on a scrap piece of paper and get most of the ink off of that sponge. Alright, and we'll put the cap back on the ink, and then the lid. Okay, so we'll go ahead and adhere our inside layer down first. I'm just going to use like 3 strips of ATG like that. I don't worry about getting every corner of it when I'm putting them in the inside. I just open up my card and kind of estimate. I look for the 3 sides, matching them up fine, and then usually that 4th side is fine. So that's going to be our inside of our card. Now we're going to work with our outer edge for a little bit here. What I want to do, I cut some grass, okay, using my border punch. One is 1 1/4 inch high and one is 1 inch high. Okay, now what I want to do is give it a little bit more dimension. I decided to use the same color grass. So I'm going to take my blender tool with my sponge and my forest green Stays On ink, and I'm going to go ahead and ink the tips of the grass just by doing the same way I did around the edges of the blue paper, but just doing the tips. Okay, not the whole grass, but just part of it. Just gives it a little bit of a darker color to the tips. I've done this before in videos too, but I was using directly with the ink pad, and it's actually a lot easier with this blender tool. So we just do all of it. And this is kind of how you can use some of your inks without necessarily distressing. I don't know why I don't like the distressed look, but I just don't. Not for myself anyway. I mean, a lot of times I like people's projects with it, of course, but I just, for myself, it's just not my style of crafting, I guess. I don't know, I can't bring myself to make something look old. Okay, so we went ahead and did our inking, and now what I want to do is adhere my grass down. Okay, so I think I'm just going to put it on the back of the grass so I make sure that I don't get it too far up onto it, the card. And I'm just going to get this straight. I find it's just easier for me to line things up when I start with something that's already straight. Just go straight to the bottom. Okay, press it down. Then I'm going to put some on the back of this. I think I only need like one strip of ATG. It's just a narrow piece of grass. And I'm going to go right to the bottom again. That's going to create our 2 layers of grass. And now I'm going to just use my scissors and trim off the sides. That's why I went ahead and made them bigger, so I can get them the perfect length. And that's easy to do if you just cut yours a little bigger than what you need. Okay, perfect. Now we have a little bit of grass at the bottom of our sky blue background, and do you see the dimension that that hunter green sponging does to it? It makes it look like a two-toned grass while you're using the same color paper. Now, the next thing that I want to do, I'm going to do a little bit of clouds, and I'm going to use my Scotch Quick Dry, which is in this little glue bottle. I want to put partial clouds on here. So I'm only going to put glue on like half of it here. Okay, I'm going to go like so, right about there. Okay, and I'm just going to press that down. And then I'm going to put one up here. I'm going to actually be using the bottom half of it. Okay, and we'll go like so. Perfect. Then I'm going to be putting one more cloud over there. So I only want this half of it. Okay, and then I just trim off the rest that I don't need. That just gives our sky a little bit of clouds without going on the whole thing because of the objects we're going to be placing on the card and the way we're going to be doing our sentiments. Okay, perfect. I'm just trimming again with my Tim Holtz scissors. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of those, but you could save them and use them in another project if you wanted to, but I'm just going to get rid of them. The next thing that I want to do is I want to take my blue gel pen, and we're just going to quickly actually stitch the clouds with the same kind of blue coloring that we did with the outer edge, and that'll just kind of tie in a little bit more of a vibrant blue with the sky, and as well as define the clouds a little bit better. Because that is kind of a pastel shade of blue, so it just kind of makes the clouds pop a little bit more, and it ties in a little more vibrant color with it. And that's why I kind of like doing that. And these are just jelly roll pens. I get them right at Michael's for like $1.49. I just get different colors of them. They're the metallic ones. And I really like those. Okay, so can you see how it kind of makes the clouds pop out and adds that little bit more color? Now, the next thing I have is the tree. I cut this tree from Serenade. I cut 2 layers of the green so it would be a little thicker. And then I have the brown trunk. What I did though was I got rid of, on this side, the 2 bottom sets of leaves. There's 1 leaf and then 3, and I just cut those off because I didn't want them so close to my grass. And now what I want to do is adhere this right down to the front of my card, and I think I want it to be kind of over like so. Trying to make sure that my sentiment fits though, to make sure that it's going to work fine. And it actually doesn't even matter if I put my tree so that it sort of overlaps just a little bit, hanging off a little bit like that. I'm going to leave that there for a minute. Okay, I think I'm going to adhere my tree flat. So I'm going to get my Scotch Quick Dry and just do like little dots of it. I don't want to overdo it and have it coming out the edges and everything, but just enough to stick everything down well. I'm so happy today. I went to bed at 11 o'clock last night, which is really good for me for a Friday night. I slept like a baby. I slept so good. Got up this morning and met my aunts for breakfast, and now I've got the whole day ahead of me, so I've got a couple of errands to do later. Other than that, I just want to craft today. I love it. Okay, now I'm going to kind of keep my sentiment where we're going to end up stamping it and sort of slide my card in here where it goes. I mean my tree onto the card base. I want the trunk all the way at the bottom. okay, of the grass, and I don't mind if that one leaf overhangs a tiny bit. So I'm going to just start pressing it in. Got lots of quick dry on the back of everything, so it should go nicely. Here, I gotta get that tree. That branch is kind of, here, get that pressed down good. A little part of my branch was lifting up. Okay. Press it down nice and tight until it really sticks well. I don't know if Scotch Quick Dry dries clear. I know my Elmer's glue does. I hope that holds it well enough. Okay, so that kind of gives a little scene with our tree. And then what I want to do is figure out here where my my deer is going to go. I made a cute little fawn, and actually, I think before we stick the fawn in place, I've got a little bit of adhesive that came out the side here of the cloud, so I'm going to use my pickup square to get that lifted. I really like that. You can see it in the light. Okay. I don't know how I managed that one. Okay. What I want to do next is work on the sentiment so that I don't put it in the way of it. What I have here is the stamp that's from the Scrappy Moms Amusing Animals, and it says, "Hope your birthday is poodles of fun." And what I want to do is put it on my block. I'm going to use this 1x3 inch acrylic block. Get it nice and straight. Okay. And then we're going to put some Scotch tape over top of, actually, I want to do one big long piece, hopefully. We're going to go right over top of the Poodles of Fun and get rid of that, but keep the rest of it, okay? So I'm going to press that into my stamp, and this way it leaves only the "Hope Your Birthday Is," okay? And we're going to take some Timber Brown Stays On ink. Actually, let me look at this first. Let's see exactly where we're going to stamp it. Is right there. Okay. And I want to get a nice, good, thick coating. I want to make sure it stamps great the first time around, which normally with their stamps it does. Okay, so that should be plenty to get a nice look. Now watch, I'm going to real quick rip the tape off of it, okay, and put that in the trash before I get ink all over my hands. Okay, now when I stamp it, the only thing that's going to have ink on it is going to be exactly what I want, which is "Hope Your Birthday Is." Okay, I'm going to stamp it right here where I need it, pressing nice and firmly, and lift it. Okay, "Hope Your Birthday Is." Alright, then we're going to go ahead and clean this stamp off real quick, which is a good idea to do whenever you're using Stays On ink. Just use the Stays On cleaner here, like so, and give it a little scrub. And then just dab it up with a baby wipe. That's what I do. This way your stamps don't stain too much. Of course, they'll always get a little discolored, which does not affect the stamping. Okay, then you put that aside, and now I'm going to be grabbing this other stamp that comes from the Scrappy Moms Amusing Animals, and it says Fawntastic. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and put that on this little pink acrylic block from Scrappy Moms, and we're going to stamp that. Okay, got it nice and inked up. Bring this closer, hopefully you can still see it too. And I'm going to line it up underneath the "Hope Your Birthday Is." Okay, let's hope this stamps well. Felt like I moved it a little bit. I did. Shoot! Okay, I goofed that up a little bit when I set it down, but I'm just going to leave it like that. So it says, "Hope Your Birthday Is Fawntastic." And I thought that would be cute. Instead of the Poodles of Fun, I could use that sentiment for the deer, for my little fawn. And I got to get a little bit more glue. These two leaves, apparently. I'm just kind of becoming more familiar with Scotch Quick Dry, so was never my glue of choice prior to this, but I'm trying to give it a really fair chance and use it, so hopefully that sticks this time. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell where I goofed it up, and I'm wondering if there's any way I can fix that. The only thing I could think of is putting another cloud there. Let me see how that would work. I keep some extra clouds on hand all the time, so let me see what it would look like if I put another cloud. Because you know me, I'm a perfectionist, and I really don't like, I don't know if you can see it, but it kind of like looks like a double stamping because I slid. I'm trying to see if I put a cloud here. Okay, I could cover it. Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and cover this. I'm going to just put some, actually, I think I'm going to use ATG. I don't want any warping at all underneath it. So I'm just going to use my ATG gun and put some adhesive on this cloud. Okay? So there's almost always a way to fix something if you make a little goof and you're not happy with it. So I'm going to put this cloud down. And then since I did it to the other clouds, I need to do the stitching around it. See, if you're not happy with something, just figure out a way to go over it. Now, nobody's ever going to know that I stamped that and that the stamping didn't turn out perfectly. Okay? And I can just make myself very happy with it because I really don't like my, and that's not anything to do with the Scrappy Mom stamps. I just simply slid my hands when I went to put that down. But I think I'll use this acrylic block this time. Just getting that pulled off of that one. I'm also kind of new at the whole hexagon type of shape. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use this block. Okay, now this is a textured paper, so hopefully I can get this to stamp really well too. Perfect. Now I'm much happier with that. So there we just added another cloud to our card, and it says, "Hope your birthday is fawntastic." And now we want to go ahead and put our little fawn on the card. And I'm going to put our, I don't mind kind of hanging the ear off the edge of the card just a little bit. So that I can do that. Okay. Let me put this away. And what we're going to do is adhere this down first, because I'm going to put the little fawn on popped up. So we want to go ahead and get the front of the card put together first. And I'm going to go ahead and put one more strip down the middle, because this is kind of heavy with all the layering that we did. And then we'll go ahead and line this up. And like so. One second. Go up just a little bit more. Go. Okay, I wasn't quite happy with that, so start again. Alright, there we go. Okay, and now we just need to put some pop dots on our little fawn. And I'm just going to go ahead and use these little ones from Michael's. And we'll just start putting some on there. Okay. A couple on the body. Okay, and now I want to take a couple of them and just kind of snip them in half to make them narrow. And then we're going to just sort of put them here by the feet. And I think I just need one more set. Oops, snip my finger. There we go. And we'll just squeeze that little half in over there. Perfect. Okay. Now we figure out where we want this fawn to go. Because I did the cloud, my sentiment ended up a little bit lower than I had planned. but I might leave the edge of the ear sort of hanging off the card just a little bit. I'm going to do that right about like that, okay? And so we have our cute little fawn. I did a little black pearl for its ear. We have our tree from Serenade. That was cut at 4 and this was cut at 3. Okay, and then we have our clouds and our sentiment. And so that was perfect way to mask part of that other sentiment to make it fit this animal, but be able to still have it be a birthday theme. And I think it looks really cute. The only other thing that I might end up doing here is adding a few flowers at the bottom, but I think I'll do that off camera because I think this video has probably gone long enough. So anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good day.